Hello and welcome to our Midweek podcast, First Baptist Sweetwater. My name is Jerry Hendricks, and with me for coffee and conversation is Teak Hamilton. Good morning, Teak.
Good morning, Jerry.
We've been talking a little bit about coffee before you joined us here on this podcast. We're drinking some coffee from the Congo today, premium coffee that I found, and it's quite tasty.
Great teachable moment. Show your kids where the Congo is on a map.
There you go. And yeah, fun times.
Even more teachable moment. If you want to talk about coffee, call up anytime.
Yeah, we're pretty good at coffee and conversation, but particularly when those two are combined.
Yes.
So, glad you folks have joined us today for this podcast. We're in the middle of P3. By middle, I mean we've completed 2 nights, and we have 2 more nights to go. And Teak is feeling better and better.
Yeah. Last night we went and every night we're delivering the snacks. We make Chef Judy and Chef Jan make snacks,
Wait
and
a
then
second.
we deliver them afterwards.
So you're delivering snacks.
Right.
So I'm not on the snack delivery list.
No, we've typically
Just to clarify.
we've typically gone to children who are
Oh, it's about the children. I'm sorry.
We see the ones that are their families are on Facebook and things like that, and we go hit them up. And so yesterday we delivered pizzas. Jan and Judy got a little bit excited though, and they weren't mini pizzas; they were big pizzas.
Well, okay, I'm going to say I wasn't sure whether we should go here or not, but if you think about the favorite segments, and the segments are, give us the segments in order.
Well, they change every week or every day. So puppets, songs, Bible story, snacks, games, and memory verse games.
Okay. So one thing about all of those segments is the energy that these people are bringing.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
Yes.
And if you've not checked in to see P3 Live on Facebook or Facebook or YouTube, you need to do that. It is impressive from the get-go, and this guy has put in a lot of work to make that happen. But T, can you guess my favorite segment?
Well, you commented yesterday, so I'm going to say Chef Jan and Chef Judy.
I love the chefs. They crack me up.
They came. Chef Judy came in, said the very first day, and said, "I've got jokes."
No, boy, does she have jokes.
And Lisa and I looked at each other, and we had no idea how to take that or what was going on. But then she starts directing the scene of how she's going to tell her jokes and what the response should be. She even had a little noisemaker that you could press a button, and it would make people cheering or laughing or groaning. There were some other sounds on there, and we didn't use it because I was scared I would push the wrong sound at the wrong time. And I was supposed to put sounds in, and I forgot. But you don't need them because they're funny.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
I didn't need sounds. I didn't need a prompt to laugh.
As I was going through every one of the videos, each day has different ones that stick out that just you're rolling laughing. And I think today is on the day of, we're talking about Peter today. And so it's quite enjoyable to watch Jesus in your boat in the songs part. Okay. And then the puppets, they just crack me up. I mean, they did a great job too. And all of it's been fun to watch. This is about my 26th time to watch. So.
I'm sure. Well, I know that I've tried to develop a new habit of listening to our last week's conversation podcast before we come in here to record for today. And it was interesting listening to, because last week we talked about the cast.
Right. And
those puppets, if there's no way I would have guessed who was behind the puppets.
Yeah. They
absolutely
did the voices and everything.
Still I don't know which is which. I tried hard to distinguish, even knowing who it is. It's hard to figure. I couldn't do it. So
they brought their own voices. They read the scripts and decided how they wanted them to sound. They did all of that, and it was funny. Now, it was a very windy day, as it is in West Texas, and so we have some guest appearances from Lisa's hand and Stacy's hand at one point or another, holding down it was trying to blow over the stage, but they did great.
Well, thanks a lot, Teak, for doing all that. I know it's been a lot of work. I sent last night's link to Philip Thomas, who was the pastor who first envisioned P3, Praise Party in the Park. Yep, Praise and Party in the Park. So it was pretty fun to share that with him, just have a quick text conversation. But
one of the fun things about this is the first time we experienced something like this was at Mission Arlington. I think we talked about that last week. And they said, take it home with you. Do that in your community. It's easy to do. Just do it. So we're like, let's do it. So we did here. Well, then Linda Nelson, who's one of our friends, her son was in the youth ministry here, helped with a lot of them, and she's now the youth minister at First Baptist in Rotan. Well, the last couple of years, they've done their own P3 in Rotan, and so that's really, really cool and exciting that it kind of is just growing, and other places are picking up on that and doing it, and so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know that there's been a lot involved for you in production.
This year has been a lot more than usual, yes.
Yeah, but you're also probably not quite, now that it's done, you're not quite as exhausted after P3's over?
Right. Yeah, we're still going around taking stuff, but you're not running around in 100 degree weather for 2 hours.
We both commented last night that when it started, it was still about 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, and so it's a lot easier. You get to do it from inside in your air conditioning.
Yeah, and you don't have to wear the same shirt every night.
That's true. They will stand up on their own.
So, anyways, it's been a great week. We're off to a great start, and it leads us into what I've started sort of structured as our next series, just continuing this thought of abundant life. Mm-hmm. Y'all are doing that through some New Testament characters and New Testament stories, and a part of a combination in trying to work through and develop series for the rest of the summer. It dawned on me from the life of some Old Testament characters that we could also look at and get a different script for what living abundantly looks like. And so this Sunday I'll be talking about Joseph, and that is it's from Genesis, and it's a long developing story, but it's real intriguing as it applies to us understanding what living life to the very fullest looks like and what it means. A lot of ups and downs, I think, in his story, as compared to others. But it's going to be really good to look into that and then start searching, for each of us searching for ourselves, kind of what that story has looked like through our life, what it looks like right now.
Maybe it was a month ago now, everything kind of runs together. Lisa was gone on a Wednesday night, and so Stacey and I got to do the Zoom for the kids on Wednesday night, and she let us do it on whatever we wanted, so we did it on Joseph and his life, and we actually bought a piñata and stuffed it and busted a piñata on Zoom, and compared that to the life of Joseph, talking about the ups and downs. He just gets beat up, but ultimately the candy inside, God works it out for the good for Joseph. And so at the end of it, we had all this pile of candy and all these little kids with big eyes on Zoom. And I was like, Stacey, I guess we got to eat all this candy now all on our own. And all the kids are like, no. We said, well, what should we do with it? They go, share. I said, well, I'll share with Stacey. They're like, no. I said, well, who do we share with? And Annabelle Cosby goes. So we went into houses and delivered the leftover candy, and that was a lot of fun too. So you want me to set up piñata
this Sunday is going to be Piñata Sunday.
We did a unicorn piñata. The best part of the whole thing was I asked the kids ahead of time, what's your favorite fake animal? And of course, all the girls, unicorn. I said, so you'd never want to see something bad happen to unicorn, would you? They said, no. So then I turned around the camera and I showed them this unicorn piñata and Stacey with the club. And Annabelle goes, it's all right. I only like real fake unicorns.
Well, I'm sorry I missed that Wednesday night. It sounded like a lot of fun.
I laughed a lot.
Well, it is an up and down story that ends well, and ends well for a lot of people. And then the next stories that I've planned so far are the story of Daniel will be next, and then the story of Abraham. So you can start, as you know those stories and are familiar with a little bit of that story, and also the character of those individuals. I think that's an important part too. Then you can sort of filter that through this living abundant and see what you come up with. As we proceed through the summer, which at that point, there's not a lot of summer left.
Right.
And I was planning on being gone for those 2 Sundays. So I double checked. I don't have characters for those 2 Sundays because someone else was going to come in and speak. So
we may want people to put in the comments recommendations.
Sure, I think that's what we need to do is to see if there's other characters in the Old Testament that we could pull out that would work for continuing talking about abundant life. So
That's going to be fun.
We'll leave that open to you guys. Otherwise, it's going to be what we call here an independent study for 2 weeks back to back. Which means we just don't know what we're going to do yet.
When I was looking at your notes, I thought the third one said Obadiah. I was like, Abundant Life Obadiah. Man, that's going to be interesting. But it was Abraham.
Well, I think
so that's the first comment, Obadiah.
Probably the thing that influenced it too was we had originally I was going to do Elijah and Amos, but I was focusing on characters, and then we have in the past focused on an Old Testament series at some point during the summer. Not always, but we'll do at least one a year, right. And so it just kind of morphed into this as I began to understand more clearly what we were doing for P3 and developing that theme.
Cool.
So I think it ought to be fun as we consider this and continue to walk through this the pandemic schedule. It's been challenging to say the least.
Yep.
And nothing's changed.
That's what's happened with P3. The reason we're having to do it live online, and
we just had a brief pause.
Yes, we did. So you were talking about the pandemic schedule, and that's why we've had to do P3 outdoors and live, and not been able to do it in a group together. But it's been cool each night to see the number of people that are getting to participate that normally wouldn't. And so, like Grammy Sanders was on every night. And she even posted a comment last night or this morning about how excited she is. She loves P3, but getting the family to do some of the games with her. And so I'm really excited about that. I want videos of that. I think that's going to be really fun. But it's really cool to see the people getting to be a part of P3 who normally don't get to be a part of it because it's out in the parks and brutal heat and things like that. So it's been good.
Well, it's even people who sometimes, even the leadership doesn't get to participate in all of it.
Right.
Because they're focused on their segment.
Right. And it's pretty much like you, me, and Lisa. We also travel around from place to place, so you don't get to see. Because normally we have 5 or 6 or 7 of these going on at one time.
Right.
And if you're at one place, you don't get to see the others.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When I saw Grammy Sanders made that comment, I laughed out loud.
Thanks, sure. Grammy.
Yes, and then Sharon watches on YouTube on my iPad, and then I watch on the phone, and saw that. I had to run the show with that to her. It's pretty funny.
That's cool.
Anyway, love the Sanders family. I'll tell you what, they're pretty awesome. But anyway, it's been a great week. Look forward to whatever we have for the rest of the summer. It's one of those things where it's almost like we're not sure what happens from here on. We know that we're talking about and preparing for the start of the fall without much else going on. We normally have, I guess, a pool night and some things like that, even though our pace, for a traditional pace, kind of slows down.
Pool night would be tough this year.
Yeah, yes. It'd be hard.
Literally.
Because there's no water in the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I understand and appreciate. Thank you, City, for watching out for us.
So, but anyways, we look forward to developing this series, hopefully along with you, as you give us some ideas for maybe some additional topics. But anyways, Teek's going to take some time off next week, and so I'll be figuring out what we're going to do for podcasts, but we'll make it happen one way or the other, and look forward to being a part of your worship on Sunday.
See ya.